What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again with 5 takeaways from Tottenham's 2-2 draw away at Brentford. Here with Brian Daigle from Tottenham on Tour. Go check out Tottenham on Tour and subscribe if you'd like to see more of Brian Daigle. But let's get into the takeaways. Number 1, same old Spurs. 9th game in all competitions. 6th game in a row in the league that we have gone a goal behind. We've conceded the first goal, continuing the trend which started before the World Cup, and it's carried on now after the World Cup. It's also the 6th time in the last 9 games we have gone 2 goals behind in a game, losing 4 of those. So those are alarming statistics, to be honest. Thankfully, in quite a few of them, we have been able to turn it around and get results. But the trend of Spurs conceding the first goal and always trying to come back is worrying.
It's exceedingly worrying. You can't keep doing this and hoping to get away with this. It's thankfully we have managed to dig ourselves out of it, but no team in their right mind said, you know what, let's give them a head start. Let's go 1-0 down or 2-0 down, and then really push for it, and then come out as a different team. It's so predictable, and what I just can't understand is how other teams can't defend it. But like we've said, the biggest team we've beaten is Brighton, isn't it, really, this season? Like, if you look at the top 6 and everything. So when we have come against the big teams, it hasn't worked. And the same old Spurs has to stop. They have to find a way to do it. We have to, hopefully after the Villa game, when we do the 5 takeaways, we're saying, new Spurs.
I hope so. And I'm just begging for Tottenham to finally get an opening goal in the game, because it's been so long.
When was it?
Everton. 2-0. We Everton 2-0. And it was our best ever start to a Premier League season.
Oh, that's
and then it's all kind of gone downhill from there. Next takeaway is Kane the Conqueror, after scoring his goal in the first game back after the World Cup. It's actually his 13th league goal of the season. But after that brilliant header he scored against Brentford to get Spurs back in the game, he has now scored against every single opposition he has faced in the Premier League era, which is a amazing statistic. 32 teams he has scored against, so he's conquered every team he's faced.
Yeah, that is an incredible stat. And he needed that goal. I wish he'd got a penalty and scored it as well. I really wanted to get a penalty and score it. But that is an incredible personal accolade to have. What I will say is, I didn't even speak to you about it. It didn't seem like, it looked like the Brentford fans were very respectful of Harry. It wasn't? It didn't sound like they were booing him at all.
They were. Were they? Harry Kane, you let your
they let your country down. Like,
they was chanting. I can't remember the tune.
Yeah, I couldn't really. But he wasn't getting booed every time he was on the ball, was he?
No, he wasn't getting booed every time.
I was expecting a lot more.
When he was near the Brentford fans, though, you let your country down.
Okay.
You let your country down.
But do you know what? He shut them up with the goal. Like you said, Kane the Conqueror. What Kane did, what Kane does.
Exactly, and 13th league goal of the season as well in 16 games.
Incredible. Now, what is it? We were speaking about it, mate. I want it to know that I think, how incredible would it be to break Jimmy Green's record at the North London derby? Oh. He's got Villa, Portsmouth and Palace. So he's got to get 4 goals. I mean, there's a good chance he could do it there. But could you imagine a penalty at the North London derby to become Tottenham's all-time goal scorer?
That would be special.
That would be incredible.
Next up is Decisive Kane. Pierre Hojbjerg got another goal to his name this season, capped off a really strong showing with the equaliser. It was a really strong showing, though. 3 key passes, 3 tackles, 1 interception, 2 out of 2 dribbles completed, 5 out of 8 ground duels competed for 1. But that goal now means he's got 9 goals and assists this season throughout the Premier League, in all competitions. 5 goals in all competitions, I think 4 in the Premier League. And his goals in the Premier League have earned Tottenham 6 points as well already this season. Obviously, the late equaliser against Chelsea. He scored the opener against Fulham, and he got and obviously the late equaliser against Brentford as well. So obviously he got the winner against Marseille in that decisive game in the Champions League. So he really is becoming a much more of a decisive player when Tottenham need him as well to step up and get a few goals. He really is.
Yeah, I mean, this is the player for some reason. I don't get it why, but he splits opinions with people. People say he's bang average. Some people say, like myself, that I think he's a very integral part of the team. The one thing you can say, whether you think he will give his all, he will do what the manager asks of him. And last season, he started showing us things that he didn't show in his first couple of seasons. But this season, he has added goal involvement more regularly. And he is a man that, you know, if the chips are down, he'll do something. He'll do something, and he's shown it regularly. So very, very happy for Pierre. He deserves a lot more respect, in my opinion.
And it's a good start post-World Cup as well. You got to be worried he had a poor World Cup, and Denmark went out in the groups, and he maybe is a bit of a hangover, but he's come first game of since the World Cup, and really strong showing again. Seems to be back to his best. Let's hope it continues. Takeaway number 4 is impressive Longley, and for me, despite our really poor overall defensive display, I thought he was a shining light across the back line, and for me, he was on the day our best defender by a country mile, and I thought he was good at both ends of the pitch. Defensively, he made 6 clearances, 3 tackles, 2 interceptions, won 7 out of 7 ground duels as well, which is very, very impressive. And going forward, he had 2 key passes, grabbed 1 assist, very close to 2 assists as well when Kane hit the bar. So showed his crossing ability as well, which he had been kind of threatening to show early in his career, when hasn't really been able to get forward as much. But yesterday he showed when he does get in the final third positions, he does have a bit of quality about him, and some really good crosses into the box, which were causing trouble. And I thought defensively he was much better than the rest of our defenders.
Joe, I think he brings to our defence something that we are missing dearly: calmness. You look around him, and there's worries and nerves. When he's on the ball, he brings calmness. Yes, there's parts of his game he can improve, but that cross, I said it before, that cross was exquisite for Harry Kane. Yes, Harry Kane finishes it superbly well, but he started to show glimpses of the ball-playing centre-back that we wanted, with his range of passing, and he certainly, like I said, I'll go back to that word, he's certainly bringing a air of calmness to that very, very nervous back line.
Yeah, and I think as well, in the last few weeks, he's definitely been our best defender for sure, compared to the other defenders around him who haven't really been as good as he has. And last takeaway is, despite getting the 2-2 draw against Brentford and dropping points, we're still in the top 4. So we obviously fell further behind Arsenal, which was not great, but that point does leave Tottenham still in 4th, 5 points ahead of Liverpool, although they have a game in hand, 4 points ahead of Man United, although they have 2 games in hand, 9 clear of Chelsea, although they have 2 games in hand as well, and we're still 2 points behind City, although they have 2 games in hand, and we're 3 points behind Newcastle. So still still quite close together, quite congested, albeit there are still games to be played, a lot of games. But in terms of position, it could look a lot worse.
Yeah, I'm going to change the wording for that for me, from still in the top 4 to clinging on to top 4. Obviously, going into when the full-time whistle blew, got a draw, got the point. It's something to take from the game, but obviously with the way the results went against us in the later kickoffs, it's not looked good. Yes, we're there. Let's see where we are come January, or end of January, or the next few weeks, and we go from there. But we are still in the top 4, but for me, it's papering over the cracks. But it's a takeaway.
We're still there. That's the facts of the matter is we are still in the top 4. You can't take that away from us for now anyway. But that is all for your 5 takeaways. Let us know in the comment section below what are your thoughts on anything we discussed in this video. Thank you, Brian, for joining me yet again.
Pleasure.
Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.